Hey guys, how are you today? I'm just out in my man cave. Um, I don't really have any kind of video or anything, but I think plowing season has pretty much come to an end. It's about +4 out right now. There is some snow in the forecast for the next few days, but it's just like wet snow. Probably not going to accumulate too much. So if I do get another plowing vlog in this year, I'd be very surprised. So I'm hoping everybody got their fill from what I've done so far. But anyways, so yes, I'm out in the garage. I thought I'd do a little, again, I have nothing planned here, but I thought I'd do a little video of my loft. I have a third story floor in my house, but if nobody's seen my house, then I will go up there and I will do a little video. I actually went up this morning. I cleaned up a little bit. I hadn't been up there since middle of last summer, I think. So I cleaned up a little bit. I hadn't been up there, like I said, and there has been people up there and animals up there, but I didn't know this until I went up this morning and cleaned up all the crap that was everywhere, but I'll explain that in a little while here. So I have the Veloci out here still. Got a little bit of work done. Bordelon exhaust. A couple other goodies in here. Anyways, I'm going to head up there now. So, yeah, I'll go and do this and I'll be back. So, yeah, sorry guys. Just came into my house here. So, coming up, I'm gonna go upstairs in a sec here. So this is my living room. You know, nothing much has changed other than a different TV. You got the 4K there now. And moving up. I won't go through the tour or anything. I do have a few videos of this, but that's the kitchen. So I'm going upstairs here. So yeah, when I bought this house, the third story was my selling future. And looking back now, it's not all it was hyped up to be when I first saw it, because the people that actually lived here or owned the house before we did made it look so nice upstairs, and we decided to make our master bedroom upstairs the way they did. But then a couple years later, we ended up having a child, and we had to move everything down here just because when she was pregnant, it's easier to be on the main floor than it is on the third floor. But anyways, my crazy cat sitting in the laundry basket. What are you doing, Patch? Crazy. The bathroom. Nothing special. Kids' room. So I was up here earlier, and like I said, I hadn't been up here in probably a good 8 months. It was probably midsummer last time I was up here. I came up to the landing here to get wrapping paper out for Christmas, but that is as far as I ever went. The man cave. So when I first... Sorry, I'm trying to close the damn door behind me here. When I first moved into this house, this room was really nothing but our master bedroom. And that's the way we had it forever until we got pregnant. So I gotta fix the phone a bit. So we moved everything downstairs, our bedroom, and then started his room up. But I had a little grave digger room down where his bedroom is right now. And I've always had a thing with the Gravedigger monster truck. And my wife, when I first met her, she always surprised me with little things, you know, that had to do with the Gravedigger monster truck. So I really got into it. It's been a long time since I've been into it. But anyways, this room is kind of dedicated to Monster Jam and Gravedigger and souvenirs and a little bit of hobby stuff that I can't fit anywhere else. This is where pretty much everything that is downstairs comes up to throughout the winter, as far as the RCs that I normally use. So, yeah, this is the beginning of my hobby room. Again, I don't come up to this room very often. It's the third floor of my house. This is very raw, guys. I didn't know what else to do, and I wanted to do something different. So this is the first landing of this room. There's not much to see at this point. I do have a few things here and there. But once you go up this staircase, it's just green. Have a little lighting system here. Oh, come on. Any other time it would just come on. There we go. The batteries are probably dead. So this is my gravedigger, my little dungeon on top of my house where I don't come as much as I'd like to. But I used to come up here when I first moved in. When I first did this room up, I used to come up here all the time. So it's basically just dedicated to Gravedigger and Monster Jam. It's just one of my passions that I've always had. And this room was kind of sitting deserted after we had our son, so this is what I turned this into. There's knickknacks and what have you up here. The Baja is down here. So I thought I'd just go over this little room today. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a lot going on. I did not plan this out. I just thought I'd do a little showing. Got pendants, I got t-shirts. This blanket is the very first thing I bought from Digger's Dungeon. One of the very first things. There is other things in here that I very first bought. All these Hot Wheels were actually bought from Walmart. There's a few different ones up here. Damn light in the way, you can't see. Of course, I get things in North Carolina when I'm there. Got the Gravedigger mirror up here. My wife has gotten me a few things when I didn't go to North Carolina. The old PlayStation game. There is actually stuff up here that I have not got up here yet. This stuff that's up here has been up here for about 8 years now. And I haven't added to it. There is little things that I've added here and there, but I never remember. Now these are technically upside down, but they're supposed to meant to look this way. So if you're standing where I am, you would look at what I'm looking at. Or if I did it this way, then you could see him. But it's so dark up here. Got my lighting up there. Got a little LED that changes colors. I thought I'd do that for fun. So I have clothing even down here hanging up when I first come into the doorway. Got the 25th anniversary flag here. One of my coats up here. This side is one of the t-shirts. This little shelf area is just a bunch of junk. On the bottom anyway. I'll turn that off before I forget. I got my original Savage 4.6 up here. That's my baby. I haven't used it in probably 3 years. There's not even a radio system in it right now. I stole it to put in another Savage. But yeah, that's my original. I have 3 other Savages. One's an older, the blue bodied one. Wasn't a 4, well yeah, it was the first 4.6, sorry. But then I have another one that I bought used. It's just a roller, but it's got the 5.9 in it. And then I got one that I have numerous accessories on. Every aftermarket color crap you can get. It's downstairs. I haven't even seen it in a couple of years. But this is my original 4.6. Body's a little beat up on it, but everything else is pretty mint. Works really well. I haven't used it in a long time. I just like the look of the little bit of pink and the yellow on here, so I wanted to kind of... It's dusty as fuck. Is it ever dusty? So yeah, again, a lot of Gravedigger. I think this is the first video I've ever done with this phone in this room. So again, don't mind my wiring job under this train layout. I did this for my son a few years back, but it never gets used, and I cleaned it up earlier and thought I would just throw it on so when I came up it was running. And surprisingly, this has been running for about probably half an hour now, and normally by now it would fall off the tracks, but it's still going pretty well. So again, a lot of Gravedigger stuff, garbage can down here, some RC stuff. I got a little RC helicopter up here, nothing special. I used to have a light in this little corner. This is the wing of the loft, which has got a really cool view. I have some tint on this window. And the screen I can pop out, but I can't just slide it back, or can I? Forget. Oh, I can slide it back. So this is the view. So you see right across the way where those dumpsters are behind this first little restaurant. That's my shop. If I zoom in a little bit, zoom in a little bit. Those dumpsters are, that's the doorway to my shop right there. So this is the view from my top floor. It's pretty high. My driveway's down there, don't mind my shitty roof. Yeah, especially it's coming up to fall here, so, or sorry, spring to fall. There's not a lot of leaves on any of the trees. The railway track is right in front of me on the bridge. It goes past my shop. It goes all the way down. The actual train yard is right down the end of my road here. There's actually a gate, and it's right at the beginning of the train yard. Oh, I actually hear a train coming down the line across the way. So yeah, that's the view. Oh, I can hear the train there. My room here fell off the tracks. I knew it would happen. Oh, you bastard. Okay, so give me a sec here. So the problem with this train layout, I'll explain. I was very much an amateur when I built this layout. It's built on a folding table, one of those like 6-foot folding up tables that you can travel around with you. So I basically bought a 4x8 sheet of plywood and mounted it to it and started from there. From there I got some pink foam board insulation and just the green matting, just the railway matting. And it was a very inexpensive layout because my son fell in love with trains just because we live in a town that is built around railways. So I ended up doing this just because I felt like when I was a kid, my dad had bought me a few HO layouts and I hated them. I love watching them, but I hated putting the damn tracks together every time I wanted to use it. It wasn't in a place where I could just put it together and it would stay there. I had to literally take every track out of the box when I wanted to use this. This was usually like once a week. And I would put it together and I hated when it lost connection somewhere. I couldn't stand it. So I always ended up saying, fuck it, and putting it back all in the box. And I got out of it. But when we had our little boy, he always saw the trains around town and he kind of, got into it. So when he was 4, I built this on a really big whim. I just kind of bought a bunch of shit, bought a bunch of flex track, bought a bunch of straights, and this is what I created. There's nothing special about it. Again, it was my first layout I had built. Not the way I would do it now, looking back. Sorry, I would do it totally different. But it is what it is. It does go well. It's got about 10 switches on it. I only used about 4 that are powered. But I technically only use 2 on the track when I'm actually using it for my kid. Just because it's easier and they're both really easy to get to if the train does come off the tracks. Which does happen quite often because, again, 4x8 sheet of plywood. I had to really flex this flex track right here. It's very, very curved right in this area. Like very tight. I could switch tracks here and I'll show you how much of a turn it is. Oh, hold on here. Here she comes. yeah, this is the view. Train coming in. CSX. Oh, that doesn't happen often around here. Yeah, they're just going over the underpass right in front of my house here. Damn the zoom on this phone. This far back. Anyway, guys, I'll wrap this up here. So yeah, this was a very inexpensive railway to create. It took me about 3 months. Again, it is on a folding table. I'm gonna sit down here. So it does slope in the center a little bit. I mean, this was thrown together quick, and considering it was the first time I ever did it, I am very proud of it. Turned out really, really well. I didn't put no buildings because there's just no room for that. So I just used the outside area as mostly track and put a little bit of trees and bushes on it. But it looks pretty cool. Again, there's switches everywhere. Some more Gravedigger stuff over here. Wife got me a football. I didn't even know there was a football at the time, but she got me a football. Let's change tracks here. Comes down the middle section now. Now I got a few lights on it here and there. So again, with this turn here, the loco just came off the tracks because this is an extremely sharp turn, and this is the reason why I don't use the inside track very much. Right in here, it's really, really sharp, and especially if I have this long tanker on here too, so sometimes I think it's pulling it back. And anyways, the locomotive sometimes slips off the tracks, and it just did there. But I haven't cleaned the tracks since last year either. Usually I file the tracks down, especially on the corners a little bit, just because it helps a lot, especially since I have cats and sometimes they come up here. But it is what it is. Like I said, my kid doesn't even use it as much as I thought he ever would. But anyway, here's the rest of the room. Got a lot of pictures from North Carolina. A lot of them have fell because I stuck them up with this teacher's goop that teachers used to hang up their posters and stuff in the classrooms. It doesn't work when it's in like 35, 36 degree humidex though. But I have a few pictures up here and a little bit of a Gravedigger body here. And these are all pictures I've taken from right from the shop. Again, a lot of them have fallen down. I don't even know where half of them are. Some of them are along this ledge even. It's me with the ride truck, the houses we stayed in. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This little area here where all the Hot Wheels go. It's really dusty behind there, eh? Of course, I got the mug and then some kind of LED light here that my wife got me a couple years back. But anyways, guys, I do have other stuff to put up here. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But like I said, it's a little room I don't come up to very often. A few RCs, a few, a little bit of everything. So I just thought I'd show you guys that. For anybody who hasn't seen any of my videos, I have showed this a few times, but I think this is the first time that I've showed any of this room with this phone in 4K. So a little bit of Gravedigger, everything. I don't get as much as I used to. And this summer when my wife and son went to North Carolina, there wasn't a whole lot. I got a couple of pictures with my son and my wife, but that was it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe.